Okay, thank you so much, Clyde. Now, our artist is David Griffin, and I saw David Griffin down at down at Venice Art Show right on the main drag last year and talked to him, and he was willing to come, and we're so happy.
So, have you ever had a dream that you acted on? Well, I acted on a dream once, and it led me to the creation of this painting, Swampy the Gator. You see, in my dream, I imagined that I got a job working for Clyde Butcher. I'm sure many of you know Clyde. He's famous for taking the large format fine art photographs of the Everglades. So he and his wife Nikki, who's also an artist, they live here in Venice. They have a gallery and darkroom down on Warfield Ave. If you haven't been down there, it's something you should really check out. So I woke up from this dream. I actually had a dream that I worked for him. I drove down to Clyde's studio. I walked in and I introduced myself. Hi, I'm David Griffin. I'm a graphic artist, a fine artist, and you should hire me. To be clear, they weren't looking to fill a position. I just thought I had something to offer that was unique. And after about an hour of me selling myself, they agreed. So I actually walked in and got a job after an hour. 3 days later, I was on a road trip with Clyde and his daughter Jack. We were on our way to St. Augustine for a photographer's club lecture and book signing. We stayed in a beautiful old B&B, and I did most of the driving. A few days after that, we were in mid-season, so Clyde's schedule is very packed. We ended up at the lovely Marie Shelley Gardens in Sarasota for another book signing. The following week, we packed up and traveled to Clyde's Big Cypress Gallery in the Everglades. After a gallery opening and book signing, we joined his staff for a swamp walk and a cheeky hut barbecue celebration. From there, we continued on to the East Coast of Florida to Fort Lauderdale for the opening of a new Clyde Butcher gallery. We greeted the new staff, helped hang Clyde's Cuba show, and attended the opening and book signing. By the way, the whole time we were doing this, we were followed by a video film crew who was headed up by Elon Stoltzfus. He's one of Florida's premier videographers and producers. He's been recognized and he's won several awards. He's a good old friend of Clyde. So this was the first 3 weeks of my employment for Mr. Butcher and his family. As time passed, I went on to design 2 of Clyde's books. The first one is Big Cypress Swamp, the Western Everglades. This book is amazing, features his beautiful photographs and also chronicles the story of how he and Nikki ended up down in the Everglades. Then a couple months after that, they liked my book design. They asked me to do a new one. So this was called Celebrating America's National Parks, Preserves, and Monuments. This won an International Self-Publishing Book Award, for a very prestigious award recently. So, after nearly 2 years and many cool projects, I decided to go off on my own. My first project was this 16-page coloring book that I illustrated and designed, and the first illustration in the book is Swampy the Gator. So that's what that is. So after I illustrated all 16 pieces, I decided that, what am I going to do with these? So I started to print them out, and this piece right here is Swampy with the Everglades Ghost Orchid and Sphinx moth. So that Sphinx moth is the only moth that propagates that flower. That's an orchid that Clyde is also famous for photographing. So as he lies there soaking up the sun, he catches his reflection and wonders why people are sometimes afraid of such a handsome creature.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
We'll be switching photos again, or paintings.